one day you and I were sitting in my office. You came in one afternoon, my friend.
Yeah.
And we were just talking, as we always do. We had a good time. It was middle of the afternoon. Got rid of my phone calls for the day. We're good. I'm working on some emails. And you said to me, what is going on, Jonathan? What are you up to right now? And I said, gearing up for my training for my big boxing match. It was in the early spring of 2019. And I said to you, by the end of the year, I'm going to be going in the boxing ring. I'm going to fight a charity match, and I want to go battle and do some boxing. That's always been my dream. I want to be Mr. T, and I'm going to do it. And your reaction was, are you effing crazy? And I said, what do you mean? And you said to me, you're a lawyer. You need your brains. These brains are going to get scrambled potentially. There's so much risks for so little reward. I got a better idea for you. What was the idea, George?
You wanted a milestone. You wanted something to achieve. And I just thought that your brain and your discipline and your personality was more suited to something where you're not getting punched in the head.
Okay.
So I said, why don't you try competing on stage? And, there's a lot of similarities between us, and I did it too. And I found it to be an incredible experience. And not because of how I looked when I stepped on stage, although that's great, but rather about who I became in the process. And I thought that that's what you were looking for. And as it turns out, I think we were right.
I think you were very right, my friend. Because wasn't it because I was hearing you speak, and I said to you, I don't know, George. I told everybody I'm going to be going in the boxing ring. I've been training for 2 years, and you said to me, you're going to be competing. The only difference is instead of using the weights to help your boxing, use the boxing to help your weight and go the reverse side. You're putting all this time to make your body in shape and good for boxing. You could step on the stage right now and win. You said to me, I'll never forget that. I said, you're serious? You said, I bet you have a better body than the guy who organizes the thing. You're that good right now. And I took it really seriously. I was like stunned. It didn't even occur to me for a second. I was so passionate about I was going almost every day with my boxing trainer. I got injured so many times. I tore this twice, tore this once, tore my groin once, my calf. I didn't even tell you. It was bad. Like I was in and out of the sports clinic. I didn't
even know that.
Yeah, I was going in and out of the sports clinic. And then they have this magic cream that they make this concoction. And you rub it on the problem area and it heals real quick. And every time I have to go get this concoction and the doctor looks at me and says, stop boxing. And we're not even doing headshots yet. Okay. So not even headshots. This is just body shots. He goes, buddy, you're in your 40s. You've not done this before. I get your passion, but please do anything else. And the doctor was begging me. And I said, no. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it by God. Yeah. And then you bring this up and I said, this is making a lot of sense. And then I had no idea that you had competed before. And I was like, wow.
But
and
I also fought in the ring before. So I had my head hit a few times. So I figured you don't want that.
So you never told me that. But the thing is, if you told me you had competed, I probably would have said, oh, no, I'm definitely doing it. So even now I'm like, oh, he did it. I should have done it. No. But on the same token, I can tell you, I took a couple headshots. It sucks.
It does
sucks. It does suck. It's like, I remember falling once in tennis and bouncing my head off of the pavement and having a concussion, what that's like. That's child's play compared to what it's like when somebody gives you a boxing concussion. And when you get a good rib shot and a kidney shot, it's like all the life is completely sucked out of you. It's amazing how you're gasping for air and they're just standing there. And if it's a real match, you're done.
Yep.
It's scary stuff. It's no joke. And I've been to boxing matches where I've watched the professionals compete and then watch them on TV the next time around. I remember one guy and he went into a coma. Like he got hit really hard. He walked himself down to the dressing room.
That's a problem.
And then he collapsed and went into like a coma for months. And it's no joke. I've seen where you had charity events and like if you don't have the right trainers, if you don't have the right training, and even if you do, all it takes is one shot. It's not a joke. Like people say, so much fun. I want to do boxing. It is not a joke. You can be all prepared you want, and then all of a sudden you could be thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner the next day or something, and bring your hand down for 1 second. Yep. They clock you, and you are done. And even when you're watching the professionals live, these are pros. They've been doing it all their lives, a lot of them. And guess what? They still bring their hands down. It looks like an innocent body shot, and guess what? They're done.
Yeah. I mean,
the most innocent shots can be the hardest, and you made me think about that.
It just takes that one. I mean, what you wanted to do and apply your discipline and grow to the next level, that was all great. It's just the vehicle was wrong, in my opinion.
So from there, I asked you, who did your work with you? And you introduced me to your trainer.
Yep.
And I went to meet him, and I had to hear what he had to say. He had to hear what I had to say, and we instantly gelled. Mm-hmm. And that's where I decided I'm going to put everything into the next competitions in 6 months. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to win.
Again, that focus, that very tight focus.
So I'm training now about twice a day, usually, depending. I'm working with about 5-6 different trainers. So I have one trainer for my meals. He hands me my spreadsheet on a Monday. I know on a spreadsheet the quantities and timing of everything that I'm eating. Mm-hmm. He's also working with me in the gym once, twice a week. I have 3 more people that I'm working in the gyms to different degrees. And I have my boxing trainer. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be freaking great. It's amazing. I look in the mirror. I'm weighing myself every week. I'm like, oh, this is great. I got abs. Blah, blah, blah. And then I go to the workshop. It's 2 months before the competition. Mm-hmm. And I'm all excited. And I go to the workshop. And what happens at a fitness bodybuilding competition? You have to practice posing. Yeah. And you guys failed to mention that. And I look like a freaking idiot. I have no clue what the hell they're talking about. I've never done anything. They're like, okay, so breathe.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Start turning. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I am absolutely I'm screwed. I know how bad this is. I'm going to completely embarrass myself on stage. I was going to kill you, by the way. I never told you that. I'm like, why did George not mention that posing is a pretty big part of this? Because all these people have pretty good bodies.
I guess I repressed the memory.
I guess you did. But guess what happened? There's a guy who showed up late to the session, this workshop, and he was incredible. He was the best one out of the bunch, by far. He could suck it in his abs, and they vacuumed in. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. So when we were done, I came to him. And I said to him, hello, my name is Jonathan. He goes, I'm Shan. I go, hi, Shan. How are you? He goes, good. I go, Shan, let's cut to the chase. I'm absolutely screwed here. And we have this competition coming up in 2 months. And I'm not going to embarrass myself. And you are the absolute best guy here. Can you train me, please? And you need to come and help me because I need to win. And I'm going to finish dead last unless I learn how to pose. He goes, what area do you live? I said, I'm in Mississauga by Square One. That's where my head office. Oh, I live across the street from you. Oh, do you now? He goes, yes. I actually just took the next 2 months off of work to focus on the competition. Did you know? He goes, yes. I could come to your office and I can train you. Oh, can you? And he looks at me and goes, look, I competed in Mr. Mumbai and I take this stuff very seriously. I'm going to be the Indian Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what he told me.
Awesome.
He loves Arnold. He's very passionate. So he looks at me and goes, you're going to go to Walmart. You're going to pick up 2 mirrors. You're going to put that in your office. I'm going to come every day, 2 to 3 p.m. You are to have your shirt off. You are to have your shorts, and you are to be ready to go. It takes half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't care. You push everything aside. We'll play the music, and I'm going to teach you how to pose. But you better be committed 100% and take it seriously, or I'm not doing this. Okay. And I look at him, I go, okay, today's Sunday. Can you come tomorrow? He goes, yes.
That's awesome. That's the universe right there. But you know what? I had this funny thought. I just wonder what, the team, Teresa and the rest of them were thinking when Shan walked in there the first time. The door closes and all they hear is music.
They know me well enough to say, oh, that's Jonathan being Jonathan. But they had no idea. One day I had to run to the bathroom quickly because I usually changed in there and then changed out when Shan left. So nobody saw me. So I'm in my Speedos and I walk out. I'm like, hello. And they're like, hi. And they're like, Jonathan.
So you're walking through the office in your Speedo?
One time. I didn't have a robe or nothing. So there's just no choice. And they saw the mirrors in there.
The Ric Flair robe.
I didn't have the Ric Flair robe yet. I ordered it right before the competition from RicFlair.com. And then I brought it to my tailor and had to get it tailored because it was too baggy. It was one size fits all. One size does not fit all ever.
No.
Sorry. So we had to get that tailored. So that's why the robe came to be. But Shan is coming in and sometimes for 2 hours, we're only doing one movement. One turn. Again. Again. And we're doing this over and over. And I go, what is this? The Karate Kid? Jacket on, jacket off? Seriously. But that's the kind of discipline he wanted. And there were sometimes 3 days in a row, 2 hours at a time. We only worked on one movement. He goes, you're not getting the next movement until you get this movement right. Again. Again, he came to my condo. We were doing it in the yoga gym in the condo. People are working on weights and watching me as the music is going on. I'm in my Speedos doing this. We went down to Mississauga by the Square One area. There's a near City Hall. There's a whole stage there in the freezing cold. Went up on the stage, practiced it. Yes,
outdoors there, the stage at City Square or whatever it is.
He goes, you'll appreciate it more when it's a nice hot building. So it's cold right now. Now you're going to be doing it out here.
Wow, that's like Rocky style training.
It was the worst. Shan made my life freaking miserable.
Oh man, I love this story. I didn't know this part.
It was bad. Like, so here I am having still to put in that many hours at the gym, working with the boxing trainer and having the disciplined eating. And I'm still practicing law and running a law firm. And guess what? We need to pose with Shan for 2 hours at a time every day.
You know what? I love this story. And the takeaway is, don't say you don't have time. Like, there's two things that I kind of laugh about when people say, oh, I don't really have time for that. Or must be nice. Must be nice. Dude, it's an iceberg. You don't know what goes into that moment. It's all the stuff below.
It's not a lack of time. It's a lack of priorities, as was said in a different episode of The Chosen Life.
Correct.
And as luck would behold it, Chan was also competing in the competition. So I rented an Airbnb in Hamilton, an Ancaster close by. I got a lower level in a mansion. It was because it's Ancaster. It was cheap. We were staying in this mansion, and Shan brought the food. Shan went with me to the tanning salon. Made sure I had my tan perfectly on, and Shan saw me every step of the way, every step, and it was unbelievable. And I gotta tell you, man, I was so beat by the end of this because there's so much going on, and like, you know, you got to get your body cut and everything else. When I showed up finally to the competition the night before, I remember, and then the morning of, I come into the men's dressing room, see all these guys there, and they're all serious, and I'm like, hey, sausage party, what's going on? And everybody just starts laughing, and one guy looks at me, swear to God, so he's looking at me, he says, you're the flexing lawyer guy on Instagram. Awesome. It's a small world.
Awesome.
So right away, I connected with all the guys. And the funny thing out of it is, let's say there's like 70 guys in there. No, except for one guy, everybody hated him because he was like really being a jerk and trying to like sabotage everybody. There was one of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Everybody was helping one another. They're like, hey, here, I brought some rice cakes. Here, why don't you have some of that? Yeah. Hey, you know what? I saw you did this. Why don't you try this? Let's do a pump together. It was amazing how everybody was looking after everybody. There was no ego in the room.
I wish we did one together.
Best.
I'm just thinking about the dressing room ahead of time, and everybody's zonked. Yeah. Like I can picture it. I know it because it's actually so draining. It's not the physical. It's all mental. That's the challenge, the real challenge. And everybody's just so zonked that morning. But for you to come in and say, hey, sausage party,
what's going on?
That just fires everybody up. That's awesome.
And what people don't realize, when you are in the audience that night on a Saturday night and you're watching the performance, they already competed in the morning. They had to get up early. And they've already done it, and the results are already done. What we're doing is a dog and pony show for you, but the results are already there. They're actually doing it twice. You got to run through this thing twice.
It's a long day.
It's a very long day.
After a long night.
You're coming Friday night, in most cases. You are registering. You're going through that whole process, especially when you're a newbie. You have no idea. Everything's scary to you. What's going on? Where am I going? What am I doing? Where's the number? How do I do this? You show up the morning of. Nobody told me, where do I go here? Where do I go there? Where does my trainer go? Because I had my trainer competing with me, I had such an advantage. I remember I had two guys beside me, Anthony and Ben. And Anthony was a trainer, but he was also competing as well. And Ben was his protege, the same way with me and Shan. And we instantly bonded. I'm going to have Anthony and Ben on the show.
Awesome.
Because we had such a good time, and it was amazing. They're doing exactly what we're doing. And I remember Ben and I were on stage together with Shan, and we actually finished in the categories, I remember. And watching all of us together, because there was a rookie category, there was the veteran category, whatever you want to say. There was different ones, you know. I ended up finishing with 2 medals out of it. But being up on stage and having medals with the people that I went through those 3 days with and fought with them and helped one another, it was the best experience of my life. I loved it. It was, honestly, I wouldn't have traded that for anything. Medals or no medals. You build lifelong friendships. For anybody who hasn't done it, doesn't matter you finish first, you finish last. Just going through the process, feeling it, you feel so good about yourself. Just the fact that you showed up, you won. The fact that you had the guts to go on stage, pose, try, you won. It's all victories. Getting those medals are gravy. They're good gravy.
They are. You make me think of something as I'm listening, and it's like, I think if you're lucky in life, And, it's a measure of success. You start to value memories more than money. I'm just thinking these memories are more important than medals. And then medals, I thought of money. And it's like, these are these material things, but it's the memories and experiences you create and who you become. I think that's real success right there.
When I had the episode with Elon Weintraub, one of my lifelong friends, we talked about our days as youngsters going to get autographs and meeting the celebrities. One of the things I raised, I said, Elon, we were getting all these autographs. We should have taken more pictures. I wish I had those memories, because the stories and the memories and the pictures mean a heck of a lot more to me than those autographs. What's a freaking autograph? It's somebody's freaking ink on a ball, on a picture. Who cares? What does the autograph mean anything? It's meeting them. It's taking a picture with them. That's the experience of it. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's funny, because with Steve Carsey, I really wanted to be Steve Carsey's baseball story. He chose the title of The Chosen Journey. I'm like, why The Chosen Journey, Steve? It's your baseball story. It's your autobiography. He goes, no. It's maybe my journey. It's maybe what I've gone through in life. But guess what? This is all of our journeys. And everything I've done, you can relate within yourself into what I did. So right now, Steve has a clip blowing up on TikTok. It is absolutely gone viral. Last I looked, it's close to 300,000 views. By the time this thing airs, it's probably going to be 500,000 plus. Mm-hmm. Steve giving a 1-minute clip talking about his experiences of why he left professional coaching with the Milwaukee Brewers, because he knew it was time to spend more time with his son, and he decided to devote himself to that. Mm-hmm. And just hearing that resonated with so many of the viewers. People understanding as parents, as themselves as kids, with their parents, with their professions, the sacrifices they have to make. Most of us are not professional baseball players, but in some way or another, hearing Steve's words and the way he went about his life, we can all relate to that in some form or another. True. So at the end of the day, it is about the journey. And it's about our own personal journeys, how other people relate to those journeys, and what we bring out of people. When people watch this, they're not necessarily watching George and Jonathan. They should be looking within themselves and saying, what have I done with my life? And what journey have I taken? Yeah. And what sacrifices do these people make? And what sacrifice can I make? And how can I be the best me that I can be? Really?
Absolutely. And I thought to myself as I was listening to you, the Chosen Life podcast, it's not your show. It's everybody's show. It really is. Right? Because everybody can find something in it if they listen and they engage and they absorb it. I think this belongs to everybody.
People ask me all the time.
You're the founder and creator, but you're giving it to everybody.
People asked me, they said, what is this podcast? I don't understand. I need a categorization. I see you have a wrestler on. I see you have a baseball player on. So it's a sports podcast. No. Oh, you have a politician on. It's a political podcast. No. I think in my mind, it's every single thing I've touched, every single thing I like, other people's experiences, other things people brought of interest, and we're throwing it all in the blender, and it's everything. You never know week to week who we're going to meet, what we're going to talk about. It should never be the same thing twice, and that's what makes it freaking interesting. Because you know what? In my life, I want differentiation. Mm-hmm. I love steak, but guess what? I want to eat Mexican tomorrow. Maybe I want to eat Italian. Yeah. Maybe I just want to take a slice of bread and put some butter on it. Whatever it is, it's no different with this. Mm-hmm. I think that at the end of the day, in all our lives, I can tell you, George, that when I look back on my life, I'm sitting here in my mid-40s. I sleepwalked through the first 30 years easily. I did not live in the moment whatsoever. I was constantly looking to the next thing. I never celebrated any accomplishment. No matter what I did, it was never good enough. Yeah. I was very hard on myself. Yep. And then I said to myself, when I actually read the expression to stop and smell the roses, I'm like, I have never gone for a walk and actually smelled the air. My walk purpose was so I can get walking, so I can be healthy, because I need to go home and I need to go do other things. What about walking and actually enjoying the walk for the sake of the walk? What about walking and actually smelling the air? I sleepwalked through 30 years. And I said to myself, it ends today. And I'm going to enjoy every freaking moment I'm on this earth. And I'm going to stop doing that. And guess what? I don't know how much time I have. I hope I have till 120. But it's not going to be just quantity of life. It's quality of life. I want to wake up and I want to feel good about myself. I don't want to feel under pressure. I want to feel that I'm not good enough for people. And I'm not good enough for myself. The truth of the matter is, no matter how hard people were on me, or good to me, I was hard on me. I was my worst critic, and I was never going to get anywhere until I learned to love myself and appreciate and embrace what I was, understand my strengths and my weaknesses, and be good with that. And stop trying to be somebody else, and stop trying to be who everybody else wanted me to be, and embrace who I want to be. And when I accepted that and I loved that, and I said, okay, this guy's quirky, and he has a weird sense of humor, and he's trying to help people. And if you understand his sarcasm, guess what? I learned to understand myself. And that's where within me, when you look at this picture, this is not necessarily about me being an egomaniac. Yeah, I love it. It's not Photoshop. Those were my actual guns, and they still are.
I know, I saw him live.
But in my mind, this is somebody that had no talent, simply had discipline, made a choice in his life that he's going to do it the hard way, and he's going to build himself into something. And so every common day person that thinks, you know what, it's too late for me, I'm too old, I have no talent, I have no skills. No, you work hard enough, you make a game plan, you have the right team, you can make something of yourself. I did that, and I want that to inspire other people to be the best them that they can be.
That's amazing.
Period.
I love it.
Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.